Hey there everybody, welcome back to the Shop Mini RC. Today we figured we'd do a real short video just to show the family. We got them all together, we were kind of going through stuff, laid them all out. Figured why not show off kind of all the different rigs and cars and stuff that we've accumulated since starting this channel. All right, let's take a look. All right, so these are all the completed cars and trucks, with the exception of like one. There's a Pro Roller up there, but the motor's right there. Just haven't put it together. We'll probably do a video on that. And this guy is not running. Needs a new servo, but everything else, oh, and this, we need to finish that. We're converting that to a Omni chassis. Right now it's an oval track chassis, so that'll get changed up. But everything else runs, and yeah, let's take a quick look. So this is kind of the guy that started all this mess, and this technically. Actually, I guess it's almost more of this than that, but let's tell the little story. So when I was like 15 or 16, so about 25 years ago, my dad and I, our birthdays are on the same day. And I saw this thing in the hobby town. You know, I had a little almost toy grade buggy. I don't even remember what it was. But I saw this, and I also have an airplane that we never flew. My uncle flew it. My dad flew it a little bit. I think I was able to control the sticks once, and they didn't really want me to wreck it. Even though it's my airplane, I don't know. Anyway, we're in the hobby town, and we saw this guy sitting there, and it was like $600 or $700 at the time, which 25 years ago, that was a lot of money. And so I told my dad, hey, if I pay for half and you pay for half, think we can buy it for each other for our birthday? And he was all about it. So we ended up buying the thing, and we spent a couple days building it, and then probably another week or two trying to tune it and break the motor in. We had to use one of those a bump start. So basically an airplane motor, which was a spinning donut, spinning cup that you put on the front of the airplane to start the prop, and you put a donut around that, and then you'd spin that and hit it to the bottom of the drive shaft, or on the motor. There's like a disc. Actually, here, I'll show you. This guy right here, and underneath there's a slit, and you actually pushed the donut thing up against the slit and would try to start it that way. There weren't really any, not that we know of, there weren't any bump boxes. Now they have boxes you can line it up on and set it on, and you just push down and it starts. So we're basically sitting there trying to bump start this thing for like a week or two, trying to just go out every other day or so when we had time and after school, and just try to get it running. And we kind of get it running for maybe a minute or two, and then it would just die. So we ended up taking it up to the hobby town, and they looked at it, and I think we left it with them for like a weekend or something like that. And we got back there, and they're like, well, we got it running for like 4 or 5 minutes. You just got to break it in. And so we tried, and we tried, and we tried, and never got the thing running for more than maybe 5 minutes. Could never get it through a full gas tank without dying. And mind you, this is back when the 27 megahertz and crystals. If you remember crystals, you put crystals in remotes and the receivers to pair them up, essentially. And we just never got it running. So after about probably 2 months of tinkering around with it, it just kind of got put in the box, put away, and kind of forgot about for 25 years. I moved out of my parents' house. Life happened. Moved to Florida for like 16 years. It went with me to Florida, and yeah, it just kind of was forgot about. And along with that car was this guy. This guy here is a ABC Hobby DTM. It's like they called it a driver training machine. It's a 1/24 scale, and it's just brushed and nickel metal, or nickel NiCads actually. And legit, like on the last time I went into our local hobby town in Westminster in Colorado, there was a bunch of guys out there racing these little guys in the parking lot, and I don't even think they were on a track. Maybe they were on some sort of like carpet, maybe, but I almost feel like they were on the road, but I don't know. These are very low, so they had to have been on some carpet or something. Anyway, I was like, whoa, those are awesome. They're so tiny. And there was a guy's like, yeah, I've got an extra roller chassis with everything. All you need to do is get a receiver and transmitter, and you're good. I've even got batteries. I have like 5 of these batteries, brand new. The motor, everything. The ESC was not this ESC, it was a different ESC, obviously. But I was like, yeah, and it was like $100. I was like, oh, I'll take it. So I ran home, drove home, because I didn't have cash on me, and got $100, came back, bought this thing, and then I think, like I said, that's when I ended up moving out of my parents' house right around then, and it went in the box with that guy, and was literally brand new in the box, just like that, was basically brand new in the box for 25 years. And when I moved back to Colorado about a year ago, I ended up finding these guys. And my dad and I's birthday was coming up in January. So this is going to really kind of expose my life in this hobby. But back in January, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this guy running for my dad's birthday. So I spent like 2 months. I tore the whole thing apart. I tore, well, not everything, but tore the engine completely down, completely broke it down, trying to get it to run. Had it running again fairly well. I mean, it was all gooed up, right? There was nitro in there from 25 years ago, and it was literally, it wouldn't turn. So I had to soak it and all kinds of stuff. So it took a while, and eventually I got it kind of running. But again, we had the same problem. Couldn't get it running for more than 5 minutes. So I ended up posting on like all the vintage groups and nitro groups, and eventually a guy reached out to me who lives in Parker, which is about an hour away, and he's like, hey man, if you want to come out here, I can spend probably a half hour to an hour and get that thing running like perfect. And so I eventually hit him up and went out there, and sure enough, I think within like 45 minutes we had it running. It was just like a whole bunch of little things. Nitros, especially at high altitude here in Colorado, are really finicky. So it wasn't just like tuning, you know, both of the, you have the high speed needle and the low speed needle and all that stuff. It wasn't just tuning that, but that was a big part of it. But, you know, I think I had the wrong spark plug. The original spark plug we had that we bought from Hobbytown 25 years ago, that they're like, buy this, was the wrong spark plug. It worked, but it didn't work well. A lot of the tubes were kind of collapsing. There was the pressure, and the gas tank was kind of having issues. There was a filter in there. Even though the filter was clean, I think it caused a little bit of a leak or something weird. And so we just kind of tinkered around with it for like 45 minutes and eventually got it running. We fixed some of the throttle controls from the servo, and it was running like a champ. So during that time, while I was trying to research that, I was also trying to research this and figure out what do I need to get this running? And I found out all about the new electronics. There were no more crystals, and 27 megahertz was not a thing, and the 2.4 was a new thing, and it was just, I was kind of blown away at what the world of RC had turned into from when I was a kid. And so we ended up doing lots of research on this, got this guy kind of going, found out about the new speed controls, micro speed controls, and we eventually got a Noble Pro, and I'll tell you that story. It has to do with this. And that's kind of what led us into finding the Mini Z stuff, because this was, you know, 124 scale, and I was trying to research it, and this is the most popular small scale. They're actually 128th, but still. So yeah, the story on this guy is, once I got it running, I was super stoked, running out front, speed running up and down the street, and it gets not even 100 feet away, and we lose signal because we're on the 27 megahertz, and it goes up over the curb into a yard, but it nailed the curb almost basically at full speed, and we ended up breaking the bumper here. So that sucked, because we put a little bit of wear on there since we got it running. Because like I said, it was basically brand new in box when we started. So we broke that, and we broke one of the A-arms and steering knuckles. And let me tell you, when you break something on a 25-year-old, already obscure vintage RC car, finding those parts is impossible. So this was manufactured under a couple different names. One of them was the Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Town, but Hobby Lobby Hunter. And I think there's a couple other, I can't remember them right now, but and a lot of them share parts, but they're not all exactly the same. But even though they were manufactured under multiple names, they're like impossible to find parts. There was like 2 places, one in Russia and one or maybe it was Germany, I don't remember, and then one in Australia. We ended up getting some parts from Australia. It took a couple weeks, and they were not cheap. It was super expensive. We got it fixed, and we immediately went out and bought a new Noble Pro, because we did not want to deal with that. And again, we were learning about electronics and everything then as well, so we didn't know which to get, and so it took us a little time, but we got there and we got a Noble Pro, and it runs pretty much everything unless it's on a stock remote. It's the only thing I run. I have a regular Noble in case my dad wants to run stuff, or somebody wants to borrow one that's on a Noble receiver, and then my Noble Pro, which is what I race all my Mini Zs with that are not box stock, and run all of my non-stock remote trucks and buggies and everything. Anyway, all right, so that was long story time. Sorry. Hopefully you found it interesting. It's kind of my history into getting back into this hobby. But again, it all started with, you know, the recent venture into RC with trying to get this thing running, and this thing running for my dad's birthday and my birthday. So let's kind of walk through them real quick. We will start with the Mini Zs. All right, the very first Mini Z I got was this guy, and this is I left it completely box stock, with the exception of the T-plate and the motor wires. The motor wires are the thicker PN motor wires, and that's pretty much it. We've left it stock because, oh, and the wheels are different, because we ran it in the PN box stock race, which you have to keep everything stock. This is more of a Hobbytown spec is what we're calling it, and it's just basically you can upgrade a lot of stuff, but you have to basically keep it stock style parts. So you can replace this with aluminum, but it's got to be the regular Mini Z front end. You can, you know, add the dampener plate and stuff like that so that you're competitive with the LMs, because the LMs come with a plate from the factory. Then we got this little guy with some videos hopefully coming soon, and I want to get a bunch of people running these. A buddy at the shop, not the shop as in my channel, but the hobby shop we go to and race at, printed this out and gave it to me to paint up. So we've got it painted up, and we're going to run these as soon as we can get some more printed out, and we'll get like 5 or 6 people running these around track. It'll be really fun. This is my stock car. It's basically a PN 2.5 brushless. Ran that at PN Nationals as well. It's running the Jumeirah body with Lexan top, so it's basically hard body Lexan top cut down to be low profile, and it's running all the PN stuff, the Evo board, brushless. Yeah. And then the Mini Z buggy, completely stock buggy, brushed. Went through that guy, This guy is a WL Toys that it was an all-wheel drive. It's a 969 that we're trying to convert to rear-wheel drive only and upgraded it. We got it very, very, very cheap, basically free, and then the upgrade parts were pretty cheap, and we just figured we'd tinker with it for a while. Right now, it's got a fried servo, so I'm waiting on a servo from China. That's all the Mini-Zs. We have some more stuff coming. I'll put a link over here to a box opening about a bunch of next stuff that we got. We got a next Bison that we're going to build. We also have an RX-28. I'll put that video over here where we met with Christian, the owner, and reviewed the RX-28. So we got one of those that we're going to build out. And we got this little guy, an Orlando Hunter. And these guys are 1/35th scale, 1/36th, 1/32, depending on which model you get. This is the F-150. I also have the Jeep. We've got all the parts and more to build the Jeep. It's going to take some time, and we have not gotten there yet. Moving along. So the SCX-24s. My first SCX-24 was this guy, the Deadbolt, and we have lowered it a lot and modified it a lot, running high clearance links, the Mantis high clearance links, and it's like +4 axle and a +5 wheel hub with the Trials and Patagonias. Hooker's Garage deemed this the flat bolt, so that's what we're calling it, the flat bolt. And it's got an NSD RC servo that I got to install still, and some Trio overdrives. And it's got the Furatech Komodo and a lizard in there. We also got this guy, Red Bull Buggy. This is from the Walmart body. It's a Walmart RC car, which we've got a video right here actually of us running 2S in that guy. It didn't fry, and it's not a good RC or anything, but the body, I mean, it's $15, and the body itself is worth it. It comes with heavier metal panels, so we replace those with aluminum Red Bull, more our style, and it's way lighter. This body weighs almost just a little bit more. If I took the tire off, it would be less weight than a C10 body actually. And I've kind of kept the interior in there. If I took the interior out and the tire off, it'd be much lighter than a C10 body. So it's running a Lizard Pro, and it's actually doesn't have a single SCX-24 part on it other than this receiver that we're using to use the stock remote. Everything else is not. Oh, and the battery tray, I guess. But yeah, everything else is pretty much non-axial. I guess the shock mounts are too. So sorry, but yeah, everything's aftermarket on that. It's got the mudslingers. I guess we can do this guy next. This is the Crawlerworks RB1 chassis. We've got the new version of the chassis coming, not the new version 2. I think it's called the Triple X. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that, but he's working on another chassis, so get excited, guys. But the newer version that's got the holes in it for the battery trays. I gave him a lot of feedback about we needed battery trays and some different stuff in here, so he went ahead and made those changes, which is awesome. And we're getting another chassis. I went ahead and picked up another red one with a couple sets of panels and the nets and stuff, so I'll do a whole video on the new version of the chassis with the replaceable panels, which is very, very cool. This guy here is my wife's. It's just kind of randomly upgraded. It's got the high clearance links on it as well from Mantis, the McHugh Mantis links. We'll put the link to the video up here. And it's got rear wheel steering, and it's got behind the axle steering. This guy also has behind the axle steering. So that's a pretty cool little build. And my wife drives that if we go out crawling. Then we've got the free mods and super cheap upgrade Bronco, which we still got to get the video out for chopping the top here. So I'm kind of spoiling that. I already spoiled a little bit because it was super cool looking. So I've been posting around a little bit there. But this guy is basically all super cheap modifications from the stock or free ones, basically just cutting things up and moving things around. Eventually we'll upgrade this pretty hardcore, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it with just the free cheap upgrades because it's kind of cool. And the rest are stock. So this is a stock deadbolt we use to show off parts. Stock Gladiator, we just did our newbie intro video for SCX-24, intro to SCX-24, posted over here. For anybody that's new and wants to know like what to watch for, what to check when you open a new one, what to expect, all that stuff, learn about your SCX-24 if you've never had one before. That's that. We added a snorkel. That's the only thing we've done. And then another basically stock C10. The only thing on here is the bumper. And I think we changed it to magnet mounts. But for all intents and purposes, it is stock, just a bumper and mounts. And then this is the Enduro 24 with a bunch of hobby details brass. And we'll put that video over here as well. Sorry guys, I'm peddling all the other videos, but if you see something you're interested in and we've already got a video, might as well show you. All right, so that's cool. Mini B and Mini T time. Let's go Losi. So we'll start with this guy. This was my first Losi Mini T 2.0, and it's basically a basher. It's all aluminum. It's got a brushless Dynamite 2-in-1 6,000 kV, and it's got 10 scale tires on it and wheels. And we know that aluminum's not ideal, but it's just for fun. It was the bling out. We actually got a really sick deal on it. We bought it used and did some changes and upgrades and whatnot. But you know, overall the aluminum was very, very free basically for what we paid for it. So we took it. We got all the stock parts as well. So if we ever wanted to convert it all the way back, we've got enough parts to convert it back to stock. But we just bash with it and have fun and do little speed runs. The next thing we're going to show is just this guy. This is just a box stock for dirt, and then we're doing a box stock for carpet. So we're going to do a dirt and carpet, both box stock, brushed, and then a brushless here that's going to be for carpet. more than likely, or maybe dirt. It just depends. It's also running the Dynamite 2-in-1 6000 kV. This is a box stock, the new Mini JRX2. We've got a video on that here of us opening it and kind of comparing it to these guys. This just came out. It's a retro throwback to the 1980s original 10-scale version. It's actually very fun, very cool. It runs decent on the carpet track, but it kills it in the dirt. Like a backyard dirt track, this thing's beast. Totally awesome. Buggies. Buggies are so fun. We got our brushless carpet guy here, our box stock carpet guy here, and then this is going to be our dirt track brushless. So brushless carpet, brushless dirt, brushless, brushed carpet, brushed dirt, brushless, whatever we want. I don't know. This guy's running the Hobby Wing 7800 brushless, and so is this, but I think we're going to move that from here over to this, which I'll talk about in a minute, and we're going to put this Castle 5200 in here because the 7800 is just too much for the small carpet track we run on. Speaking of this over here, so this is a hack fab conversion to an oval car. We are going to put an Omni chassis on it, which is symmetrical, a little bit thinner. It's a prototype Omni chassis actually. And we're probably going to put that 7800 Hobby Wing from there into here and do it as a road car, speed run, touring car, whatever. We've got a test body that we're going to use from one of our 12 scale guys. Just give us one of those busted up bodies so that we can have a Porsche road car, and we'll mess with that. So that's not running right now. Everything else, like I said, is pretty much good to go. That needs a servo right there. And this over here, I don't know what we're going to do with it. Tell us in the comments below. What do we do with this Pro Roller? We were thinking about putting a brush in it. We got some brush kits. We actually have an extra brand new out of the box that we picked up from somebody who upgraded to brushless motor and receiver combo from this. The motor is a 42 turn brushed, whereas these brushed are 47 turn. Also 17 tooth pinion, whereas these are 16. So this is a little bit quicker. Thought maybe we throw it in there just to have a JRX2 electronics in our Mini B. I don't know. We can do another brushless. Tell me what you think. What should we do with this Mini B Pro Roller? Or we just leave it as a Pro Roller and use it for parts? I don't know. These guys. Let's talk about these for just a second. And I think we're pretty much going to wrap it up. But these guys are neat. So these are turbo racing, 1/76 scale, fully proportional RC cars. They're smaller than a Hot Wheel. This is the truck version. We had a yellow one, but we actually traded it to somebody. We're going to pick up another one eventually. Hopefully they come out with more colors or a different style body, but these little trucks are awesome. We have a little dirt track. It's not really dirt, but it looks like dirt made out of tiles. It's like a little stadium truck course that we built. So we'll do a video on that eventually. They're super fun, super cool. And then these are the cars. They started with these minis, the Mini Coopers, and they're fun. They're not super fast, but they're pretty fun. And then I got a 3D printed body for one. Got a couple 3D printed bodies, but this one's installed on here. And then the rest are, these are called the C71, 72, and 73, and these are super fast. And they actually did one of each for the Fast and the Furious, these are just the bodies here, but there you go. The Eclipse, the Supra, and the RX-7. You know, all the lights work, and they even have underglow. So when you turn them on, they underglow. We'll do a whole video on these. We have some really cool stuff with them, but we've got a couple of these guys, and we have this awesome track that we've got. And this is a timing light and sensor. So we'll do a video on this, but a gentleman basically took and built this using RFID. Wait, where's it at? Where'd it go? We were missing one. I was looking for it. I didn't know where it went. These. So he basically made a timing loop that has a little strip. I don't know if you can see it under there. There you go. You just put it under the track. And you can use an RFID sticker, which is like $1, to throw it on the bottom of your car, and it will track all your cars. I know there's apps to use cameras and stuff from your phone, but they're not as accurate, and you can't have same color cars and stuff like that. So this allows you to do like 10 or 15 cars, all using just cheap $1, maybe $2 RFID chips that just stick to the bottom. And you can run on your iPad or your iPhone or your laptop, desktop, whatever. And the light counts down, and it's got all the stuff of a big scale race system, like an Easy Lap or any of the larger scale stuff. It's got all that same stuff for these little guys. And hopefully he's going to be able to get this to work on a larger track. You can run on Mini Z, then you don't have to buy the $30 or $25 transponders, or even on bigger cars, because some of those transponders are like $150 just for the transponder to track your laps. So this is super, super cool. It's sick. No, it doesn't require any power. All the transponders ought to be hooked to your power. This does not require any power. So this is super exciting. And even if it doesn't end up in the larger scale, at least for these little guys, man, it's a blast. I tell you what, these things are fun. So we'll do a video on these at some point, and this timing loop. But yeah, this is our collection. All this since January. You should see the look my wife gives me when more product comes in for like reviews or stuff I buy to upgrade them, or a new one like the JRX2 comes out and I'm like, well, I got to get it because I got to do a review on it. So I go out and I buy a JRX2, and she just shakes her head. All that since January. It's, what are we in? June? This video's in June. So January to February, March, April, May, June. 5 months. We go deep sometimes. So anyway, so the whole point of this was just to kind of share my my journey in RC, because that's what this channel is about. I want to grow the community. I want to make sure new people feel comfortable coming in. I don't want people to be intimidated by, you know, these SCX 24s are fantastic because you're able to show that you can work on these cars, and they're cheap, they're easy to work on, they're fun. You don't have to spend years and years and years in RC to understand how to work on them. They're very simple and they perform, and look how customizable they are. I mean, this isn't even it. There's so many more ways to build these things, from comp rigs and, you know, motor on axles and 6x6s, and I mean, just crazy stuff. So, I mean, my collection is pretty tame compared to some as far as diversity in builds. But again, the point was to be able to share my journey and my experience and what I learned along the way with the community so that it can grow and new people, again, feel comfortable, and they have somewhere to look to learn how to do things and maybe hopefully relate. Hopefully you guys relate. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to cut it. It's getting, they always get longer than I want. Be sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, share, hit the bell button so that you know when all the new videos go up. And yeah, comment below. Why don't you, since you made it this far, if you made it this far, go ahead and put in the comments mini RC, since clearly we all love mini RCs. I mean, we got some big ones, and that's technically a 1/18th. Well, I think it's a 1/10th, but it's built on a 1/18th, 1/16th. So, but yeah, let's put mini RC in the comments if you made it this far. And again, I appreciate all the subscribers. You guys are awesome. You are why I continue to make videos. Yeah, so get out there, run your cars, crash them, smash them, bash them, but don't break the vintage, expensive, hard to find parts.